What's going on, WODprep? Hopefully by now 19.2 is in the books. If you've done multiple attempts, I'm sure you're super sore. Even if you've done one attempt, I'm sure you are sore. So this is kind of similar to last week because we did basically the same movement for a lot of reps, which is a squat. So you may see some of the same movements this week, but you'll also see some new ones. So today what I have again is the box, just like before, 20 inches. I have a pad that I will put between my knees. That can be a pillow, a newspaper, a magazine, whatever you can ball up. I have another pad that will serve as an elevation for my toes, and then also down on the opposite side, so it can just be any type of elevation. It can be a couple books, phone books stacked up on top of each other. And then lastly, I have my foam roller and my yoga mat. So get your things out that you need. And then we are going to start with some foam rolling. So we have just crushed a lot of squats for 2 weeks. Our glutes and legs are probably pretty toasty, so we're just gonna give them a little bit of TLC with the foam roller. So first thing we're gonna do is our glute smash. So for this, what you're going to do, if I wanna smash my right glute, I'm going to cross my right leg over the left and I have my right hand back. And then from there, I'm just going to lean to one side and just roll out that glute. I'm sure most of you have done this, but let's just get a little blood flowing and get going. So if you're ready, let's go ahead. 1 minute each side begins now. Roll out to the side of that glute, and you can kind of come back in. So we just roll side to side, which makes it a little bit more three-dimensional, and then it helps us hit different parts of the glutes. All those reps, we're gonna be pretty sore, and if we've done multiple attempts, the body's just not gonna wanna take on some pain, so just inflicting a little bit of controlled pain with the rolling will help get us going again. Kind of get that central nervous system ready for a little effort. Keep working that glute, almost there. We're gonna switch sides in just a second. And let's go ahead and switch. So I'm on my left glute now. I cross my left leg over my right. My left arm will be back. If you're ready, get into position, and 1 minute starts now. Same thing. If you find a spot that's pretty tender, you can just hang out on there for a second and then just work on breathing. Just breathe through whatever you might be feeling. Remember, don't forget to go a little bit out to the side and hit that lateral portion of the glutes, and then go back a little bit to the center as we accumulate 1 minute. Just a little bit longer. And now let's go ahead, take that same foam roller, and we're going to go into a quad smash. So what I'm gonna do, start at the top of the knee, and I'm sure many of you have seen this or done some variation of this, but I'm gonna have the rest of my body draped out to the side. So I'm on the edge of this foam roller, and I'm just going to work that whole quad. I can, again, kind of roll in and out as I work my way up the thigh. So if you're in position, let's go ahead, accumulate 1 minute starting now. So I'm sure the quads are feeling pretty toasty at this point. All I just want you to do, we don't have to necessarily get in there and make it super painful. Just kind of glaze over top of them and just breathe. Let's just kind of reset some breathing patterns over that neural tension and stiffness that the quads have. Working our way up the thigh. Again, can kind of go out to the side and then back in, three-dimensional, and just kind of hit spots that you feel a little bit better on. Just getting some movement and blood flow back into these stiff muscles. And let's go ahead and switch. Take that roller, other side, get into position, and let's begin. 1 minute starts now. If you find one side that is tighter than the other, that's okay. Don't freak out. Again, remember, we're not really, today for recovery, we're not really trying to create a whole lot of pain. We're just getting into that stiffness. We can ease up on pressure a bit, and then just work on breathing. Just starting with some low impact movement with some self-inflicted pain to wake up that central nervous system again. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So now let's go ahead and get some movement going. So put that foam roller aside. Now we are going to do 5 rounds of our modified chaturanga like we did last week. So start into this crawling position. So get on all fours, and I'll go slowly for the first round to allow you to catch up or move along with me. So we start in the crawling position, and the first move I'm going to do is put my toes down like so, and then I'm going to shoot my hips to the ceiling, and I'm going to flex my quads. So watch how my knees are bent right now. I flex them to straighten them out. So our calves are also probably pretty tight from all the double unders. So here is where we're going to loosen those up a bit. So for this first round, we're going to hang out here in this down dog position. Knees, quads flex. Try to push your heels into the ground, and you should be in the position right now. Fingers should be splayed, palms nice and flat, driving that chest through. And now we're going to take 5 deep breaths while pulsing back and forth from either calf. So I go down, I drive one calf, one ankle to the ground, and then I drive the other. So let's go ahead and begin. 5 deep breaths and alternating. In, exhale. Back again, inhale. All right, so now next move, we go to our push-up position right from there. We're gonna drop down into this quarter push-up. Place our hips on the ground and drive up. So you should have just went from quarter push-up to cobra position. So hang out here, look up, and now go back to your knees. And we're gonna repeat that again. So we're gonna go a little faster, shoot up to down dog. Let's just alternate, breathe, 2 breaths. Push-up position, down, and then come up to cobra. Flip back up to the knees, back to the crawling position. Shoot up to down dog. 1 breath. Push-up position, quarter push-up, up, cobra. 2 more. Up, heels to the ground, should be opening up a little bit more now. Push-up position, quarter push-up, up, knees, back to crawling position. Shoot through, down dog, last one. Drive the head through a little bit more. Straighten the quads, heels to the ground, and then back to push-up position. Quarter push-up, up, open up those abdominals that might be sore from the toes to the bar. And go ahead and relax. Next, we are going to get into our Spider-Man lunges, just like we did last week. We're going to do 2 on each side. Again, we'll go relatively slow to allow you to move along with me. So, first move, push-up position. We're going to bring one leg up in line with the hands. Remember, last week we talked about not leaving that foot back here. If you have to grab it with this hand to bring it up, do so. So foot is in line with your hands. Foot is flat. And if you're ready and you remember a little bit of last week, let's go ahead and begin. Rotate inside hand to the ceiling. So if I have my right foot down, I rotate my right hand up to the ceiling. Now, come back down. Now we're going to drop this elbow to a comfortable range at the same time, letting that back knee come down to the ground. So I'm hanging out here, back knee on the ground, elbow dropping to comfortable but challenging position. Come up, press that knee out like we did. Let this foot roll up onto its side. We just pulse out, get into this position, do a few pulses, and now hand on top of that foot. Now, again, this is the tricky part, just like last week. Hand on top of the foot. So I have my right foot down. I put my right hand on top of the foot. From there, all I have to do is just shoot my hips up to the ceiling, tuck my chin, and now I should be in this position. So now my back leg is off the ground. So if your back knee's on the ground, get it off. What I want you to do with this front leg, again, my right leg is out in front. I'm going to floss my knee to a comfortable but challenging position, stretching this hamstring. You should feel that in that floss. So go ahead, floss it out just a few times. Stay breathing. And back to push-up position. So let's bring up the other leg. So now my left leg is up with my hands. I'm going to rotate that left hand to the ceiling. So my inside arm rotated to the ceiling. Let's go ahead and drop that elbow and that back knee down to the ground. Hang out here for a second. Go up, take that hand, push that knee out. Let that foot roll up onto its side. Hand back on top of the foot to the tricky part. Remember, my left hand is on top of my left foot. I shoot my hips up to the ceiling, tuck my chin, and let's go ahead and floss that hamstring a few times. Good, back to push-up position. One more, each leg. Bring this leg up. Rotate inside arm, so right hand is up. My right leg is down. Right leg's down, right hand up. Come back down, drop that right elbow. Back knee goes to the ground. Hang out here. Push that knee out, let that foot roll up onto its side. Remember, breathing. Hand on top of the foot. Shoot the hips up. Let's floss, just comfortable. Everything is probably pretty sore, so we're just flossing into that tension, not trying to push it too hard. Then we just come right back out. Back to push-up position. One more on this side. Let's rotate left hand to the ceiling. So I have my inside hand to the ceiling. My left foot is down, left foot to the ceiling. Drop that arm into that ankle, let that back leg come back down to the ground. From here, let's push this knee out. Drive out, and then back in a few times. And now, one more time. Left hand on top of that left foot. Let's go ahead, shoot the hips up to the ceiling. And let's tuck our chin and floss that hamstring. Comfortable position. We are sore. Our muscles have broken down. We're just trying to restore some movement, not make crazy changes. There you go. Come back to center and relax. All right, next we are going to get into some rolling flexion. So let's go ahead and grab those pads. that I mentioned before. So take your phone book or whatever you have, another pillow, some type of little elevation, and now we're going to do some rolling flexions. So when we're doing that repetitive squat clean, what can happen is that in that constant bracing repetition, our vertebrae and the muscles surrounding it can get pretty stiff. So we want to get some nice kind of movement back into that spine like we've done before, and just kind of get that spinal cord moving a little bit better again and out of that tight, braced, rigid position that it probably is in right now after all those squat cleans. So we're gonna do 5 rolling flexion. Put that pillow between your knees. Get your toes elevated up on whatever form of elevation you have. And then we're gonna make sure our heels stay down. From here, it's very much like Jefferson curl, but we aren't adding load to it today, just getting some movement back into the spine. So I'm gonna start by tucking my chin, and a little bit of the differences with this rolling flexion versus the Jefferson curl is once I get to just kind of a stiff spot, if it just feels weird or very tight or sore, what we're going to do is contract against this pad on our thighs for about a second, contract, relax, and then roll further. And I'm tucked, I'm round that chin, and then we're gonna roll back out one vertebrae at a time. Now we're just gonna come up overhead, clasp our hands together, point to the ceiling, and look up, and you can even kind of feel maybe a little stretch in this neck. And now let's come back down. Tuck that chin round, let's go to a stiff point. Squeeze the pad together, relax, roll a little further. Roll back out, one vertebrae at a time. Big hands up and out, point to the ceiling, extend that back, squeeze the glutes. And now come back, swan dive back down, tuck the chin, and start rounding. Go to that stiff spot, contract, relax, go further, roll back out and up. Big hands up, point to the ceiling, look up, squeeze the glutes, swan dive back down, tuck that chin, squeeze, round, relax, and then let's come back up. One last one, up to the ceiling, point, squeeze, swan dive, tuck the chin, come to a point of stiffness, squeeze the pad together, contract the knees together, relax, tuck the chin, go further. And now, take that same pad, we're gonna do the same thing with our heels elevated now. So we're just getting some different weight shifts, which will just kind of challenge that spine in different kind of positions. So let's go ahead, tuck the chin, start rounding, go to the point of stiffness, which for me is right here. I squeeze, contract, relax, go a little bit further. Roll back up, point up to the ceiling, squeeze the glutes, straighten out that middle spine and that thoracic spine, swan dive back down. For rep 2, rolling one vertebrae at a time, squeeze, roll back out, up, squeeze the glutes, and then extend that middle back, tuck, round. For 3, go to that point of stiffness, contract, relax, go a little further. Come back up, 2 more reps. Look up to the ceiling, swan dive back down, tuck, round all those vertebrae, go to the stiffness, squeeze the thighs, contract, relax, and let it go a little further. 1 more. Come up to the ceiling, point, squeeze the glutes, extend that middle back, and come back down, tuck, round one vertebrae at a time, contract your pad, relax your knees, and go a little further. All right, and then last but not least, we're going to do our box step-ups just like last week. So, grab your box. We're going to go ahead and do 2 sets of 10 each leg and then call it a day. So for the step up, I'm going to step up with my left, then I'm going to come back down with my left. Okay? So let's go ahead and begin. So left leg up, step, come back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get going a little bit faster to get that heart rate up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch, right leg, step up, coming down with the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake it out for a second. 2 breaths. Trying to get that heart rate going, to get the sweat flowing. No better way to recover than with a little bit of sweat. So let's go ahead, back to the left and begin. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch, right leg, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. So that box squat is great because we get some contraction back into those stiff muscles, get the blood pump with some muscle contraction, and then we're not getting that eccentric, the down portion of the squat, which is what really creates all the soreness and damage. So if you want to, you can go through that again a second time. If you're feeling really pumped up and want to recover a little bit more, go for it. If not, 1 round is totally fine. Another thing that we would recommend is getting into a sauna for about 10 to 20 minutes. And then after that, plunging into some type of cold tub would be a great way to restart your system and get moving again and recovering for the next week. So get those legs unsore. Hopefully by now you're a little sweaty, breathing. That is your recovery, and we will see you for 19.2.